All right, good question. Thank you. Today we are doing prime, not Wagyu, because the, come on. All right, good question. Today we are doing prime, not Wagyu, because All right, so today, prime brisket, doing good. We are doing, I don't typically do Wagyu briskets because A, it's super expensive. B, you can get amazing brisket quality just by doing prime. Oh. So, yeah, so we can do the, I'm gonna move this so I'm not blowing everybody out. Yeah, prime brisket, super good. I do like doing a good Wagyu, but typically I'll do a, the ones that I've done have been like an American A5 Wagyu, so not quite Japanese A5. But that's okay, because it still turned out juicy and delicious, as Chud would say, which is really nice. We did one for my son's graduation last year. Came out really good, super juicy, super tender. And I was a fan. But I would say that for the price, I didn't notice a significant enough difference to consistently buy or recommend like a Wagyu brisket. I think that when it comes to, if you really want that juicy flavor, blah, 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 I would just do like a prime short rib. I do, plate ribs, beef ribs, that kind of stuff, because, it's the better brisket. So that's what I would do, and that's why I am using the prime brisket today instead of something like Wagyu. So good question. Thanks for that. Now I am also doing my trimmings pretty aggressively, but I am keeping them because I will turn them into burgers and sausage, which I am really excited about, and I have a couple of videos on now. So check it out when you get a chance. All right. So if you're doing prime briskets, which I recommend, it's got enough intramuscular marbling to not need any type of injections or anything like that. You're gonna be good to go. If you're doing Wagyu, like we are just talking about, definitely don't need any injections. I have found that if you're using something like Choice or Select, then that's a great time to use injections. If you're doing a pastrami brisket, definitely inject your brine before you let it sit for the amount of time you need, because that's the way to really get that nice penetration of all the, herb and spices mixture that you've put into it, and you'll get that nice pink color. So I wanted to see if I could get a good moist brisket if I did an injection on something like a choice cut or something where you're not getting as much built-in intramuscular marbling. And I gotta say, it was pretty good. It's still not what I would choose over a prime brisket, but I absolutely would do that. With the meat costs right now, I used to pay on a bad day like $3.50 a pound for brisket. For Wagyu, now it's like $5 a pound. Hey, what's up, Dustin? What's going on, brother? Let's do some brisket trimming, man. Oh yeah, wine break. All right. Oh, the dog follow, what's going on? So we're doing today just a quick 3 briskets, nothing too fancy. We're gonna do it in the gravity fed offset, which I just got the fan for finally after tons of time of people asking me why I didn't get one. And I'll be honest, one of the reasons why I didn't get it was because I wanted to make sure I knew how to use the cooker. Number 2, the other reason why I didn't get it was because I thought it was like $400. And I was being cheap, I was like, no, I can make this work. I'm good. I'm good to go. And then I went back the other day. I was like, fine, I'll get it, and I got it. And since I already have the thermometer, it was like $69. Nice. So yeah, I waited all that time just because I was cheap, just to find out that it was only 69 bucks. So I screwed that up. But then I used it immediately, and it was freaking awesome. It basically cooked and regulated itself like a pellet smoker. It almost was unfair, and I felt kind of guilty about it. Like, if it's not hard, it's not barbecue, right? Obviously not. So, but it was great. Really good smoke profile, really good flavor. So basically what I did was every hour I added wood chunks. It was great. So, oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. This thing is like not a very clear display here. I'm trying to get, there we go. Man, the Argentinian asado, that would be so delicious. I really want to do, I had some birria tacos the other day, and when you said Argentina, that made me think of it. Like, I really, really want to do like some brisket birria tacos. And then like when you have that shell that's just like sopped with the juice, like it just exploded. I was like, oh my God, this is what we need right there. So definitely want to get some of that going. I was talking to Bradley the other day from Chud's Barbecue, and we were talking about some of the different like styles that we want to, that I want to kind of like do and work through. So he's doing a whole hog pretty soon, which I also want to do. Really want to go to the Carolinas and do a whole hog cook. You know, that a lot of that vinegar-based cooking, barbecue, sauce, everything else. I also had the other day the mustard sauce from Leroy and Lewis's barbecue sauce. That stuff was really good. I had, you know, once you get the barbecue right, then you can start playing with sauces to make sure that, you know, I mean, the barbecue has to be right. If you're, you know, people use sauce to cover sins, you know, but I love sauce provided that it's done right. And I made some ribs the other day and I used that mustard sauce. It was divine. And then I also used their beet sauce on some barbecue, which I would never do. Like, I don't like beets. I don't want to talk about beets. I don't want to do beets. That stuff was amazing. I think they're totally marketing that wrong because it doesn't taste like beets, but it is one of the absolute best barbecue sauces I have ever had. It was delicious. Yeah, man, I'm an Austin guy. I live in Northwest Austin, actually. So I was down to Chud's. He lives like South Austin, big time. Like from where I live to near where he lives is about 40 minutes. So we're neighbors, but only in spirit, really. And a 40-minute drive. You did a rotisserie brisket? Well, on a select cut? Dang. How did you do that? Did you like, you have like on a, do you have like probes or clamps, or how did you do that? Because that sounds delicious. And what kind of smoker were you using? Oh, nice. All right. Let's get that one good. Next brisket. And like I always do, got 17-pound prime briskets. Gotta love them. No, I haven't heard of. That's interesting. Montgomery, Texas. What are they kind of known for? Are they a brisket place, general barbecue place? What do they have going on over there? That's pretty cool. I haven't gotten over to Montgomery. There's so much barbecue in Texas that I keep hearing about, especially recently. And I really want to take like a week and just do a bunch of tours of all the places. The last few times I tried to get to Leroy and Lewis, I made it like at the wrong time, so I wasn't getting in for sure. He could be the postmaster too. That's awesome. Oh, nice. Cooper Abercrombie, huh? Man, that's cool, dude. I gotta check that out. There's I will say that, so I went to Bradley's sausage making class a few weeks ago. Let me get some paper towels handy. Yeah, I went to Bradley's sausage making class a few weeks ago. And, you know, I've had really good brisket from some of these places. I've had really bad brisket from some of these places. And it was interesting because, you know, you see him make brisket all the time. And when you have it, though, like I saw it And it was probably one of the top 2 barbecues briskets I've ever had. And his ribs were good. We did ribs on the chud box that day. And he actually did like a vinegary mop sauce with that stuff, which again, I kind of wasn't a fan of until, like, it's usually kind of like something you use if either A, you don't know what you're doing. Let me not say usually. Often that is used if you're not really sure of your cooking methods, or if you don't really have a sense of like what your seasonings are. But man, it was so good. Let's see. Oh, dude, yeah, I know. Basically anything that he makes. But so the best barbecue I'd ever had was, well, quick story. When I first got into barbecue during the pandemic, I was like, I'm going to chase the dream of the barbecue that I had when I was a kid. So that's when I started watching videos, trying to get better. And I was like, I'm going to make the ribs that I have in my head, the ones I think about all the time. And so I just worked, but I was like, but I want to do the brisket really, really good. So right after the pandemic kind of lifted the ban, I went over to Interstellar, which is where I live, right near where I live. And I was kind of nervous because I've been making barbecue for like 2 years by this point, and everybody's telling me my barbecue is good, but I wasn't really sure. And there's no, I don't have a real scale for it because I never got a chance to have really good barbecue when I first moved here. It was all kind of, shite. And I was like, this is kind of not what it's known for. So I went over there, and their barbecue is very good. I highly recommend it. But I realized then I was like, all right, I've done the right things here. I'm at least in the ballpark, and I feel really good about my barbecue. That means I'm trying to, I'm at least, doing some of the right things. And then I went to Franklin's Brisket because Jeremy Yoder was coming down, and I wanted to hang out with him again. And so we went over there, and I tell you what, Aaron Franklin's Brisket is like the best brisket I've ever had. I've never seen brisket done so expertly, and on a scale like that. I couldn't believe it. So that was humbling and good to know that there's still a higher level to achieve, which was awesome. It was just phenomenal brisket. The rest of the barbecue was okay. Would I recommend Franklin's? Yes, if you have the time. And I mean, he truly has a gift for what he's doing over there. I can't even describe like how good it is. So when I went over to Bradley's, I was like, all right, let's see. I've had Interstellar. I've had some other good barbecue. I've had my barbecue, and when he pulled out that foil boated brisket, I just couldn't believe it. It was so good. Yeah, his pork belly. I wish we'd had that, but it was a sausage class, and we had sausage, ribs, and brisket. It was freaking phenomenal. You have an OG Chud box? I'm super jealous. Super jealous, man. When I was there, if you look at the video that I posted yesterday, 2 days ago, I had talked about him. I talked with him, and I was like, "Hey, what's on the horizon?" He goes, "Actually, they're releasing a full-size Chud box, and on that full-size Chud box, they're going to roast a whole pig." So I was like, "Holy crap!" And I never wanted a Chud box more than I did after I left. I thought it was cool from the outside, looked neat. And then when I got there, I was like, "Oh, this is the way we should be doing barbecue right here." So I look forward to eventually getting one of those as well. But I really, really also want a Chud table. But if I'm going to spend the money, I feel like I should buy the grill first. If I'm going to drop a couple K, I feel like, probably should go for the cooking tools. But then again, I'm also a big take care of your equipment kind of person. So always buy a good case, for your stuff. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what we got there. Muller's Barbecue out of Taylor. Oh, okay. Good recommendation. Get with John Bates. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll definitely do that because I want to go over there and do like a whole tour and see if they'll let me do that with them. That'd be awesome. Joe Yim. So Joe Yim is also super cool. I was able to cook with him in Kansas City when we did that big event over there. So like Jeremy threw that Kansas City versus Texas barbecue event, and Joe Yim was there. He's super nice, really, really talented. And actually Charles Wong from Umami Q out of Chicago. He was there. I met him at Jeremy's camp a couple years ago, and he just won like some award in Chicago, like $20,000 grand prize or something. But yeah, Joe Yim. That's a good question. I can't remember if he ended up there, or if he was just doing some work there. But yeah, he's definitely good friends with him. And I think you're right. I think he might be down there now. I should text him, see what's going on. But yeah, super good dude. Very, very nice. Very calm, very quiet, very understated. And that dude knows how to throw down on some barbecue. Also, I'm taking my time right here, but you want to see like a perfectly trimmed brisket in a real short amount of time? Freaking Joe Yim. Chud too. Those guys are just masters. It was interesting to listen to Bradley talk about his experiences over there, at Leroy and Lewis. Like they're now I think they're a Michelin star restaurant now, or they have Michelin rated chefs. And a large part of that was through Chud's efforts, through Bradley's efforts over there and the work that he did. So in my opinion, Bradley is absolutely a Michelin star chef because that dude is cooking his butt off with great recipes, great technique. He's super humble. I mean, the guy, he's like everything you want to meet in like a cool YouTube chef, So I can't say enough good things about him and the food that he cooks, dude. It's legit. I mean, his stuff was absolutely legit. I couldn't even get over it. Oh yeah, the live fire stuff, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there comes to a point where you got to like mix it up, which is what I think Bradley's doing a lot. I mean, that's why he got into his stuff. He's got tired of traditional barbecue. The live fire stuff is where it's at. Yeah. Oh, dude, and he's so funny in person too. He's quick with a joke. He's funny, and he's very respectful. He also uses like more creative language when you're with him in person, which is really funny. And I remember when we cooked with him in Kansas City. What am I doing? When I cooked with him in Kansas City, I was they were there late. They were doing the overnight shift, him and Joe Yim. I was like, well, I'm definitely staying for this. And so like I just met them. They were like super nice guys, super approachable. And I remember I was putting, I think we had like 100 racks of ribs on just this one smoker. And Chud comes behind me and he puts his arms around me. He goes, "Let me show you." Like just like in the movie, I think it's Ghost, where Patrick Swayze comes behind him and sings like Unchained Melody. It was the funniest thing. I just couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, so I mean, all those guys are super cool. Jeremy, also super nice guy. He again, what I noticed about Jeremy was that he's very busy. He has a lot going on, but he will always take time to talk to you. He'll always say like, I was like, "Hey man," like he was running around. I was like, "Hey man, when you have a chance, can I do an interview with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it right now." And I was like, at the end, make fun of me, make fun of my barbecue. It'll be good for my YouTube. And he did. He was like super gracious, super nice. And then when he came down to Austin after that, I got a chance to hang out with him again. I was like, I just wanted to let you know that, what you did has really helped me with my business. Though I used to ship the barbecue, as some of you may know. And so a lot of that stuff came from Jeremy's like just trial and error, and I just kept watching. And I didn't see Chud's videos at first, and then when I finally did, I was like, oh, I know exactly what my resources are now. This is how barbecue is supposed to be done. It was really good. And then I found Joe Yim. My first find on YouTube was Harry Sue, who I definitely love. Initially got a bunch of tips from him. I love that guy. And I mean, the guy makes a living teaching pitmaster classes and winning competitions on charcoal smokers. So, I just think that if you're so good that you can win on charcoal smokers, you are a man among men, and I will salute you. Yeah, his beard is amazing. Yeah, I found that in the barbecue world, I've only come across like one or two a-holes that are kind of like too big for their britches. Now, what I do love about the barbecue community is one of my favorite things is that it's built in. Everyone loves talking about it. Everyone loves like jamming on it. Like everybody just loves barbecue. They love talking about it, sharing methods. And I said this the other day. I was like, I just feel like in general, people it's a very welcoming community to people who are just getting started. Everybody's got their own opinions. And then you walk away with like 5 or 6 things you can try right away, which I think is so cool because I think we need that crap in the world today where, everybody's not fighting all the time. And, yeah, I was talking, I can't remember who it was, but I was telling about it. I was like, yeah, there's a few people who just kind of aren't nice. And they have something to say about everything all the time. And the other part is, though, it's usually in good fun, but everyone is such a critic. in a really good way. About barbecues, like, oh man, you're not doing that right. You're like, yeah, you gotta tend your coals better. Like, you're not using a mustard binder. What the hell are you doing? Like, I mean, it's all kinds of great stuff, but it's all in good fun. It's all like, haha. At the end of the day, we're here standing by a fire, cooking meat. And I think that's super great. One of the things I wanted to do with the business, which I ended up having to not finish, was I really wanted to do a bunch of community events right near where I live. They do a couple of meat events all the time. Like they do competitions and things. So I really wanted to get over there and be a part of that community and meet people and say hello. And I just feel like there's such good people in the community. And you meet like the coolest people with the coolest stuff. I met a guy named Garrett who had Lazy G Barbecue. I think he had to shut it down like this year. But he had a food truck, and there's this place over here in Austin called the Good Lot, and he had his food truck there for a long time. And it was really cool because he had a trailer that in the back had a gravity-fed charcoal smoker. And he told me, he's like, I've got this thing dialed in so well. He's like, I'll put the briskets on overnight and I'll go to bed. I won't even watch this thing. I'm like, that is how you do it, my friend. But that little section of the trailer was so hot. I remember walking in there and it was like, this is an inferno. It's so hot in here, but it smelled good. Oh, you cooked with him at T-Roy's? Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I do wonder how Harry Sue is in person. He seems like such a genuinely nice guy, probably like a consummate teacher, doesn't mind talking about barbecue. And it was funny to hear Jeremy talk about him. When I first got into the barbecue, Jeremy threw like a little like boot camp weekend, which I definitely went to because I needed it. And he talked about Harry. He goes, Harry's awesome. He's like, because we talked about like getting together. He's like, oh yeah, Harry's like, oh, I'll come maybe like, I don't know, March 21st, whatever. And Jeremy's like, all right, cool. Sounds good. We'll see how it goes. And like, he's like 10 minutes later, Harry's like, hey, I got my tickets booked. So I'll see you in March, whatever. And Jeremy's like, oh, I guess we're doing this. So you can watch that video. It's actually a pretty good video where Harry teaches him a little bit about the, the ways of competition cooking and cutting and seasoning. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really glad to hear that he's awesome because I definitely want to go to his class, like even if nothing else, just to like, again, be around the community. And I'm that guy. I'm going to pay for a class. I'm going to go see people. I'm going to go meet people. There's this thing called Brisket U here in Austin. And if you're a beginning cook, it's super great. And if you're a more experienced cook, it's a great community. I mean, and they have a really, really good barbecue seasoning. So you just never know what you're going to find. And so that's why for as much as I've done in barbecue, I still love going to these events because you just never know who you're going to meet and what you're going to take away. Yeah, I bet Harry moves like 1,000 miles an hour. That guy feels like he'd be hard to keep up with in a really good way. But yeah, man, his whole like brisket technique of, like the using like the beef consomme and things like that. I don't use it as much anymore, but I did that a lot in the beginning. And man, I used to do a consomme binder, and then I would spray with beef broth, kind of like he does. I stopped doing that really when I had the business going because I just didn't have. I don't think I was getting enough return on doing that for what I was doing. Obviously, I'm not doing competition barbecue, so. Oh yeah, I've heard about. Is it Dumas? I never get it right. No, I have not been to the barbecue camp and brisket camp, but I've heard about it, and I really want to go. I think from what I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's like a huge like they go through like all the meat and the parts of meat and parts of the cow and the cuts and everything like that. Like I hear it's basically amazing. So it was definitely on my list. I definitely want to go. But again, like I just don't think I love learning and I love doing. And I basically went to YouTube U and started a business from it, and I have gotten nothing but great feedback, honest feedback. It's really fun. I just can't say enough about it. But what about you guys? What are you cooking this weekend? As Bradley says, please go cook something outside. I have some coworkers at my day job. I'm not a content creator yet, but we often swap stories and barbecue and things like that. And then he's a really, really nice guy, super, super nice. But sometimes he'll use some old techniques. I'm like, maybe you should update that technique, brother. But it's more on the general ribbery of, you know, barbecue and the barbecue community, which I love doing. So, pretty common. Oh, wow. Man, that's cool, dude. Man, I haven't seen you in a while, man. How have you been? How's everything going? I've been, I feel like I saw you in the comments a lot before, but of course I stopped posting, but I haven't heard much from you in a while. That's probably me, not you. Me, not you, for sure. Are you guys making sausages with your beef trimmings? The other day when I did my videos, I did like 40 pounds of brisket. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. About 40 pounds of sausage-ish. And I, instead of just like finding little pieces here and there, I went through and I broke down a couple of briskets for all the beef that I needed. And that was the best thing I could have done. That sausage was amazing. So once I started finally getting into the sausage, it was the singular thing that I wanted to get into when I had the business. It was the singular add-on that I wanted to have was I wanted to, do the Texas Trinity. I wanted to get it going. And I just never had the time to get into the sausage. And so when I decided to finally make the time to do that, it was too late for the business, the shipping business. But God, it was so much fun. And I lament I lament that I didn't do it when I had the time. That was, or when I had the business, that would have been so cool. So, that's how it goes though. Life's weird, man. Life's weird. Can't complain though. I mean, I could, but probably wouldn't do me any good at the end of the day. Let's shape this up a little bit more so I can get these nice cuts. Make sure I got at least a thumb over here. I do. Make sure I get this cut up. But yeah, it was funny. Yeah. You know what though? Like, I think the tedious part is more like gathering the materials more than anything else. Like I was in here just like breaking down brisket, into its many cuts, and it was actually kind of neat though. I will say that I took away some cool stuff in that, I had never really cut the brisket raw like that, and I tested out 2 different methods of kind of like, seeing where I was getting the best yield out of it and those kinds of things, and how I was cutting it, and where I would get like the most, the point pieces and how that cut up and all that kind of stuff, and how the flat cut up. So it was actually kind of an interesting experience, and I ended up like doing a little sever, where you did like the middle cut, like you'll see, like I think the Sweet Baby Ray's guy, they always do that. They cut the brisket and they cut it, between, like, they'll separate the flat and the point this way and the thin way. I don't like doing that once it's cooked, but it was actually kind of a nice method of trimming it when I was actually breaking it all down, which was cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate the compliment for the good-looking briskets. So again, being in Texas, I have the unfair advantage that my grocery store carries prime briskets every day of the week. So while I don't do the official business of shipping anymore, I still take the time to make, or I'll still take orders from friends who want briskets. And so these 3 are going to be for some friends that I have, and I'll be freezing them and taking them down to Miami with me, which is where they're going to be. So, it's what I do for the good of the people and the good of the land. This one was a little more fresh, so I had to put it in the freezer. But Costco, I don't know, I really wonder, when I first got into the barbecue, I know that I joined Jeremy's Discord, and a lot of people were paying like $15 a pound. They must have meant cooked, because there's no way it's $15 a pound raw. That's like a cooked price. So where you're at, like how much are you getting, where are you getting your briskets, and how much are they where you're at? I'm always curious as to the meat cost. There's this place in Miami called Shadow Wagyu, and it's obviously only Wagyu. It's the American Wagyu, but they're kind of known for, having great chefs doing great things, and that's where, if I ever want Wagyu meat, I'll get it from them. What? Yeah. Dude, I love the Restaurant Depot. Costco is super reliable. That's why I got my meat when I did when I had the shipping business. I like the fact that you can get 3 racks of ribs in their packages because they're already trimmed. But when I had the business, it sucked because oftentimes like they were like squished together or compressed or not very meaty. And I think they were doing that in an attempt to kind of, you know, like get more money, like, you know, get more towards the belly. But I just really pissed off because I was like, man, like this sucks. I want more meat. And right now I have like a terrible meat ratio here. It's just like very thin racks. But yeah, Costco, that's such a reliable source. And I was trying to work with both Creekstone and Snake River, I'm sorry, Porter Road. And it didn't work out on both of those, but that was also kind of my schedule's fault. So, yeah, dude. Well, I'm originally from Miami, so you know, anytime I get to rep my city, I love to do it. I'll be back there again this summer, so it'll be great. I'll go back to Shadow Wagyu. I met some of their chefs, which was really cool. They came over to my brother-in-law's house, sister-in-law's house, and we talked barbecue for quite a while and meat, and it was really good. They use a lot of their they do like a lot of, like, you know, Cuban dishes down there, which I absolutely love. So, man, I've had some really weird briskets recently. And I feel like the only problem with the HEB briskets is, well, and sometimes Costco, but this one's an HEB brisket, is that they will often, like, I feel like that their butchers kind of will shave too much. Like that last one I had definitely had a big, you know, chunk missing out of the fat on the point, which sucks. So I was actually wrong. These are both Costco briskets, and this one's an HEB brisket. So it's kind of weird. MagnaChef gloves? No kidding. No, I haven't heard of those. What are they? Are they for chefs? Because that's dope. And what are your ties to Miami? That's pretty cool. Yeah, see, they freaking, like, look what they did. They have this huge gash in it. I mean, some of that's not their fault, but this one definitely partially their fault. Damn them. It's all right. But my hands are starting to get numb. I didn't put any cottons on like a freaking rookie. What are you gonna do? Nothing, just keep cutting, suffer through. Enjoy the battle scars of cooking outside. Yeah, this is dope though. I think cooking brisket is one of the greatest joys I have in life. That's a lie. I have a lot of good joys, but it's one of my favorite things in life, that's for sure. If I have the time to use my offset, God, I just love it. Tomorrow morning I'll have the meat on by about probably 4 or 5. I might sleep in an hour, get up at 4, start the fire, get the meat on by 5. Oh, snap. MagnaChef. I gotta check that out, dude, because I need that. In addition to new things, I just partnered with Search and Rescue Denim. They make aprons. I was at a bar in Seattle recently, and I went to the bartender had this amazing apron on. I was like, dude, where did you get that? Because it was like real sleek, obviously made, tailored to a bartender. He goes, Search and Rescue Denim. I was like, what the fuck? I went and ordered an apron from them that day. It actually should arrive a week from Monday. So I customized this with I think, but it's an industry selectable apron company with customization and embroidery options. So I ordered it, and the guy that was there, the bartender, had 2 of them, and I was like, dude, can I see that? And I was like, this is amazing. He brought out his second one, also amazing. And so I reached out to Search. I ordered my apron, then I reached out to them. I was like, hey man, do you guys have a partnership program? And I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'd like to do. And the guy was like, I got an email response. The guy said, yeah, sounds great. Cool how you heard of us. We have a partner program. Love to have you be a partner with us. I was like, great. And I looked at who emailed me, and it was like the founder of the company. That was awesome. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I'm really excited about it. I mean, this one's been reliable, a lot of pockets, a lot of space, but I've been waiting to get something nice. You know, I recommend this one to anybody. It does have like the crossback though, and after having it for 3 or 4 years, I want to get like the neck strap one, which is the one that I ordered. But yeah, this has been really good. But yeah, it's super nice. I ordered a canvas one. I recently learned about the joys of denim and how like durable that cloth is. And when my buddy first told me about it, I was like, what? Like denim? Like, you mean, are you gonna be like in the 80s wearing like a jean jacket? And he's like, no, dude, this is Ironheart. You know, this is like 25-ounce denim. I'm like, what? So I wanted to try this one out. So I ordered a canvas denim first, a canvas apron first, in order to kind of like test it out, make sure my sizing was right, my size guess was right, see how the embroidery looked. It's actually not that expensive. The website is listed in Canadian because they're a Canadian company. So I was like, I thought my apron was gonna be like $200 when I checked out, but it was a lot less because it was not. It was listed in Canadian, not US. So, you know, obviously expensive. With like, you know, I had a customized apron with an embroidery, with a 3-week lead time on it. But it looks to be so worth it. So once I get this one, the canvas one, all done, I'm gonna definitely, you know, customize it and get a denim one for further, you know, either a second option, but I definitely want that high quality of the denim, which is super cool. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I hope so, man. I listen. We talked about community already. Like, any chance I get to meet people and talk barbecue and do barbecue, like, I am all about it. One of my karate instructors does barbecue, and you know, we are always constantly getting together. You know, we use it as a chance to both train and talk barbecue. So we'll get the barbecue going in the backyard, work on karate, drink some beers, work on karate, work on the meat, drink some beers. You know, it's a really good time. I have a really good group there. So, yeah, dude, I appreciate the sub, and I hope that we get to definitely link up sometime. It's cool that you've been here. It's been great chatting with you for sure. Which reminds me, cheers. All right, good question on the rubs. So I've been switching it up recently, but when I need my reliable, I will use my reliable recipe, which is I do a 60-40 mix kosher salt black pepper, taking a tip from Harry Sue. I throw in, you know, a portion of celery seed for that extra umami texture, which I like, and flavor, you know. And then I will rub these. I'll do that nice healthy dose, and then I'll use the, believe it or not, the Traeger beef rub, which is perfect. It's the apple and honey one. It's so good. I'm sorry, no, it's the molasses one. It's really, really good. So if you look at my channel, it's not a shameless plug, but I was in the middle of a beef seasoning tournament, which I was doing on beef ribs with Gorilla Joe's Barbecue, who I also kind of got to meet in that Kansas City weekend. And we started doing this thing because there's so many rubs to choose from if you're not making your own. And the average, you know, barbecuer isn't gonna like put together a season. They want something ready, you know, one and done. So I did this, you know, beef bracket style tournament because I wanted to see, you know, on its own what seasoning should people choose, you know. So I have Jeremy's rubs in there. I've got Chud's rubs in there. I did. I mean, we did a ton, but it was the goal was it was supposed to be an off-the-shelf contest, right? Like, so what can you get at the grocery store, or if you're going to Academy Sports, like, you know, something that you can get easily. One of my favorite rubs for steaks, especially, is made by a comedian named I forget his last name, Dave. It's something, but his brand is Meat Dave, and I put that stuff on little. He gave his package is 2 huge jars, and I've already gone through them. It's really, really amazing. Yep. Let's see. Barbecue diets. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Carnivore diet. Yeah, you know, I didn't realize that celery seed was attributing to the smoke ring, but that makes perfect sense. Yep. I'm using that. The classic, the one that Jeremy recommended all those years ago, the 16 mesh, for sure. Arnie Tex. Okay. Yeah, that rotisserie sounds really interesting, man. I gotta try that. But I'm always looking for a good rub. And I couldn't believe I found those sauces at Chud's place the other day. That was really good. But I mean, it's Leroy and Lewis, so of course he's gonna have that on hand because he's like a few blocks from it, I think. But he's in a different part of Austin, so it might as well be a foreign country. Rio seasoning. Yeah, there's another one here that's like pretty basic that people like. It's called like the Texas Reserve or something like that. It looks so generic, but it's actually pretty meaty, pretty delicious, pretty good. So, I like that for sure. Yeah, I also need to get better at my Texas geography. I moved to Texas right before the pandemic, and so I moved in August, and I had just started a new job. And while they were a remote first company, we got hit. I was immediately traveling. I was coming in to basically assume and create a department, and I did. But I was traveling a lot, and I was like, okay, cool. Here comes the summer. Time to get some stuff done, and learn and meet Texas. Really, no pun intended. And as soon as then March, pandemic, done. So that stunted my growth. And then when the pandemic ended, I ended up immediately traveling again. So getting to all these places, I know there's a few places up in Dallas I really want to get to or close to there. A reliable option here in Austin is called Style Switch. I really like Style Switch. That place it's the most reliable barbecue that I've found that you can get every day. Like I go there for lunch on Fridays with my buddies. Like it's great. It's always busy. They have a smokehouse out back. Super good, super tender. Really good brisket. I don't care for their sauce much, but they do those like deep fried Brussels as one of their sides. Oh my God. Like I'll just get like a couple pieces of brisket and like, a couple sides of the Brussels. It's amazing. So pro tip there. It's a really good, accessible barbecue joint. Yeah, man. See, like they cut so much of this off. It's terrible. What the heck is that? Oh, okay. Makes sense about Rio. The Fiesta pepper. Yep, it does. Definitely has a distinct flavor. Really? Well, that's interesting about that. I know Bradley knows those guys, but I would say they're so reliable. Now I would say that I've gotten two things. I've gotten their beef rib one time, or my buddy did. I tried it. It wasn't something I'd like write home about, especially since I make beef ribs. But I think that's why. Like it's like, okay, well, I make beef ribs. Like I don't need to order it here. But during Christmas, they do the 12 meats of Christmas, and they did a chicken fried or a country fried beef rib with like country gravy on it, and I ate that whole thing. I mean, it was so good. I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, this right here is amazing. And I can move past the sacrilege of like deep frying a beef rib. But I was like, you know what? This is fun and delicious. So screw the rules. This works, and I'm gonna eat a ton of it. And it was amazing. I will never forget that experience. That was awesome. Super awesome. Yeah. I know, it was amazing. I think that even though it was so rich, like the country fried version of that, it kind of took some of like the richness in the way it kind of cut it. So it kind of served in the same fashion like that you have like a piece of bread or a cracker, because it kind of just like cut it nice. And then I had my Brussels sprouts that I always get, and then I had some bread, pickles and onions, and it was a meal, dude. Now, I will say that I didn't eat it all in one sitting because I had just started Ozempic, so I was like not able to eat a ton at one time, but I ate the crap out of that thing. I mean, I made room for that rib. It was so good. I'll never forget that. I definitely want to try that as soon as I have some time. I have so many things on my list of things that I want to make. So, man, they butchered this and not in the right way. So that's all right. We'll make it tasty and delicious. It's just ugly. Ugly. Man, but I really want to try that rotisserie brisket now that you said that. It sounds really good. Yeah, I mean, when you have like a really great experience, it's almost like impossible to recreate that. But I mean, Style Switch isn't perfect, but they have a really nice staff there, and they're super reliable. And again, like if I want to give, if friends visit town and we don't have time to do like a Snow's or Franklin, something like that, then I'll go to Style Switch. You know, I think that's like if you want real Texas barbecue that you can get at a reasonable time, Style Switch for sure. They're so good. They're so good. And I'm not dogging on them like, well, it's good enough. Like, no, I actually like them. I don't like their sauce. Their barbecue sauce, I think it's not additive to the flavor. So if you're a sauce person, like I wouldn't get that there. But other than that, super good. Their tots are good. No, super good. But that's barbecue, right? I mean, who knows what day I had it on, what days I've had it on. But sauce, I feel like it's kind of once you've got that done, you don't redo that one. You're not making it fresh or whatever. So, all right, well, some might call this the ugliest brisket in class, and boy, she is ugly, but just trimming away the ugliness. Trimming it away. Yeah, last week, I had gotten a review sponsor to do a food warmer review, and I was like, yes, I've been wanting to do this one. I've been wanting a food warmer, you know, I've been wanting one, all kinds of stuff. I was like, I can't wait, love to give it a review. So I got it, immediately turned it on, put some probes in it, and it started failing tests. I was like, okay, well, I've got 2 probes in here, top and bottom. Neither of these probes match the temperature, and neither of the probes, neither of these probes match the temperature of what the readout is, and the temperature of the box, I couldn't get it to come up to the temperature that I had set it to. So if I set it to 177 or 150, I could get 150 kind of, but if I set it to 130, it was consistent and matched the temperature. If I set it to 150, it did not match the temperature readout, but it did reach like 150-ish, like just under 150. I was like, all right, that's kind of fine. If you set it to 177, the highest temperature, it would never get there. It would stay like 147. So I reached back out to them. I said, hey, I don't think I can do a review on this, you know, and be honest. So, did you really? Yeah, I couldn't get mine to work, dude. I couldn't get it to work. I don't want them to disparage them because I think that like they have potential, and I'd love for them to fix those issues. But mine was off. I put 2 probes in there, and I ran it like 5 times, and then I put a brisket in there, and I mean it basically nearly ruined the brisket. I mean it really did, honestly. It created like a. I mean, because I was like, all right, it's like 150, whatever. But then like the more food I put in it, it just had a harder time continuing to get the temperature. So I was like, I don't know, dude. I emailed them. I couldn't do it. But I'm glad you had a better experience because I'm immediately going to check out your video. Yeah, dude. You don't understand. Like I've had that food warmer in my car, like in my Amazon wish list for like 3 years. And I was like, okay, maybe this will provide a good opportunity to, finally get it. And yeah, it was not a great experience. So that sucks because I was really looking forward to working with them. I was like, man, they got a lot of products I could really use, at an affordable price. And I'd love to have an affordable option for, the YouTube channel and for people to check out. Nay. Yeah, RFX. I am a fireboard guy. I found them to be the most reliable, and it took me too long to figure this out. I'm embarrassed to say that you can change the color of the probes on the graph. So I was like, how are you going to have like a light orange and like a slightly darker orange be the colors that you get to choose from? But then when I got into it, I was like, all right, this thing is awesome. So I really, really dig it, big time. So I got a few probes, loved them. I had some interesting issues where it would like show a spike in the temperature, like 700 degrees, and the other 2, I would have 3 in there, and then like 2 of them would show normal 250 or whatever, but it didn't work out. Ooh, Yeah. Man, did you buy that, or did you get it from like a sponsor? I forgot. I took a picture of who Bradley had in his new YouTube, in his new like content creation place. His place is super cool. It's nice and small, but not too small. Plenty of room. He has like in that space he has two big cutting board counters. He's like I think he got it like the wood from Home Depot. Like they sell like cutting board countertops. So that's cool. I saw Jeremy Yoder the other day had a new, God, what's the name of it? He had a new pellet smoker too, which I had not seen before. But it was like the Costco brisket video, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at that up. That pellet smoker was like $4,000. Like, Jesus, dude, $4,000. Yeah. Yeah. The best way to get those things, man, is used just like you did. That's perfect. I had one when I had the kitchen. I had one, but it was a stern, like the kitchen gave me one, which was cool. It was a super cool kitchen. But it was like a sterno one, so I was never able to I didn't love that. It had too much heat variance from the bottom to top and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up not loving that. But what I did was I just used the warming oven because it could go down to 150, which is not my favorite option because warmers generally are more consistent than just like an oven. But you take what you can get. You just gotta know where your food is when it's being cooked and how the temperature works. But yeah, I mean, I still consider myself new to the game, a student of barbecue, and as much as I say that, I felt really happy over the holidays because, sometimes you forget how far you've come in a certain craft, and I love this one. I love the meat, although this piece is being a little ornery. I love the meat, and I love all that stuff. And then over the holidays, my phone did not stop ringing. People were doing briskets, ribs, prime rib, like everything. Like I was like basically on call the whole holiday season, helping people with their meats. And I was like, you know what? I actually had answers to all these questions. I actually knew how to get people the stuff and how to cook a steak. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And then you get the feedback, and it's like, this is the best steak I've ever had in my life. I'm like, man, I'm super humbled by all this stuff because I'm just, I feel like I'm just always learning. It was a really special time. I was really, really humbled by everyone's feedback and just really glad to be a part of it. What? Yeah, I hear that, dude. I mean, dude, I love the stick burner. I mean, there's like 3 that I want to buy right now. But it's the time. It takes away your whole day, which it's a great way to spend the day. It's relaxing. It's by the pool. I mean, it's all the things. But it just takes up so much time, and the wood sourcing, all this kind of. I mean, again, I'm lucky. I live in Texas, so I can get wood. But even then, it's not as easy to get wood as you think. It's not automatic. I mean, when I first got started with my offset, I have as you might have seen, I have the Old Country Brazos, and I would just go to like Academy Sports and buy bags of. I mean, actually, at the time they had it at HEB too, bags of wood. It was great. Then I found a wood supplier. But when I did the business, everyone would always be like, hey man, like make sure you make mine on the offset, not the pellet smoker. I was like, all right, cool. Why don't you go over tasting? We'll do it. And they're like, cool, man. Like, this is great. Let's try the barbecue. Oh yeah, I can taste the stick burner, and it's definitely really good. And they had no idea I made that on the pellet smoker. Now, I was never dishonest. I mean, I always made what people wanted, but I think that you can get great meat off the pellet smoker, and I'm not a hater at all. I love my pellet smoker. It's what allowed me to learn how to cook meat. So, I'm a fan, big time. Do you really for Pit Boss? Man, I want to like Pit Boss. I think the ones that I had weren't great. I like them as a company. I love their stuff. But my few experiences on like the stuff that I did, it wasn't a great experience. But that could have been a fluke. Like I don't ever disparage them because I like them, but I don't have any. So far my experiences haven't been super great. But that's like anything else, man. So you're gonna laugh. I can't think of any of the names right now on the cookers. There's one that I saw recently that does like these big huge black, luxurious, like gunmetal black smokers. Those are cool. I'm dying here. I know I can't remember like who the freak these people are. Joe got me into another one the other day, Gorilla Joe. I just started following them. But what killed me was I wanted a well, there's a few things. There was I want Jeremy's The Solution, that's for sure. Like I think that his scientific approach and willingness to test everything, I think is such a critical component of a good product. And I know that he was the one who got me into the Old Country Brazos. And so his solution, I bet, is dope. I really want to get that one. I want to get the Traeger, their high-end line. I can't remember if it's the Timber line. My brother-in-law has that one, and that thing is a Cadillac. I absolutely love it. So I would love to get one of those to round out my pellet smoker compliments. I would love that one that Jeremy had the other day on there. It has a really interesting like door mechanism, which I thought was cool. I definitely want to get that one. And I would love a cook shack, but I don't need one of those anymore for the business. But when I had the business, I really wanted a cook shack pellet smoker because Charles Wong, who just won that award that I was mentioning earlier, he did that. He had his initial start in his business until he got his offset smoker, and I mean that guy's an amazing cook. But then when I met him, he had this big fire engine red 500-gallon offset that he had just gotten, which was really cool. So those are some of the ones that I kind of want. I think I stopped looking at offsets because I was just frustrated by the fact that I didn't have enough time to make food on the offsets. And when I shut down the business, I keep saying when I lost the business, when I shut it down, I felt like I didn't really have the justification to get like a big offset anymore. So I stopped looking at the brands, but there's a couple recently that have made me kind of like turn my eye back around, and Jeremy's Solution looks freaking awesome. So I'm not down and out. I'll get them again one day, but there's a couple things. But I mean, dude, like right now, I would actually love, I forget who makes them now, but my gravity fed, my Old Country like gravity fed, now that I have the fan, like I love that thing so much. It's like the most, I mean, now that I have like the fan, it feels like cheating big time. But that thing is such a smooth cooker. It's great. It's not perfect, but you can do a foil boat in that thing. I mean, the other day I did a brisket again for that food warmer video, and it was like, dude, I had like crispy bark, and it was like super nice. Like, I mean, I cooked the crap out of that thing in the best way possible. And I was just so mad that like in the end of the day, like the food warmer was what ruined it. Because I was doing a video on a long rest. Like it was a 16-hour. I was doing a 16-hour rest, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I was really sad that was not the way that ended up. So kind of sucks. Yeah, Lone Star. Yeah, I love them. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's super cool. They have the freaking fireboard on it. But yeah, dude, I've been trying to up my game. I got rid of my two pit bosses because it was their stand-up cookers. And again, like I made the mistake of putting meat in it without trying it, without measuring it, and without doing all those things. So I kind of knew how it responded. But the ones that I had like, it was like that competition cooker or whatever. Like, I mean, admittedly, it was a low end line. I was young and naive at the time. And when I got it, like I basically just turned those meats into hockey pucks because again, the chamber just seemed to like create a vortex of like, heat. It was like the heat just kept compounding itself somehow. Like I'd put a temperature in there and it was just like getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. And I was like rotating the briskets trying to save them. It did not work. So, but again, I liked them. I'm sure that was just user error or something. That sucks. I mean, that sucks. I mean, I want to like them. I think they have a big presence. It's like Oklahoma Joe. Like I think their high-end stuff, probably. I mean, I think that's actually like respectable and pretty good. But I've only seen like their lower-end stuff, and it's like anything else. I mean, it's like anything else, dude. It's one of the. You get a couple Oklahoma Joes. They're chained up outside Home Depot or HEB, and it's a way to get it, but. It's super thin metal, and you know, not like, you know, like a nice big one. You know, what I didn't realize when I bought my, Brazos, I wanted that 1/4 inch thick steel, which I got, but the guy was like, hey, do you want the deluxe? It's only like $100 more. I was like, of course I do, or 200 bucks. I was like, absolutely I do. And so I got it, and it had like the counterweight on the back of the lid. And I was like, oh, this is a game changer, because you're not like ripping your shoulder, like, you know, to do that up. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually a pretty good feature. I did do like the stack extension, and like I cut out the plate. I shouldn't have done either one of those things, and just done better at managing my, managing my damper better. But again, I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. And Jeremy cut his plate out, so I cut my plate out. Oh, wow. Yeah, see the Titan and the Pro Series, I want to try those out. Oh, Jonathan, oh, cool, man. Hell yeah, dude. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. I got my briskets trim. I'm going to finish this one up, get them back in the fridge so I can season them first thing in the morning. It's great talking to you, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate everybody who came and watched, and I'll see you on the next one. In the words of Jeremy, in the words of Bradley, go cook something outside. You guys take care. Thanks, man.